Imperfections make you unique. Your imperfections make you unique. Have you ever looked at yourself and wished you were different? Maybe you wished you were more confident. Maybe you wished you were more beautiful, more successful, more talented, or more accepted. Maybe you look at other people and think, why can't my life be like theirs? We live in a world that constantly tells us that we are not enough. Social media shows us perfect faces, perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect careers, perfect homes, perfect lives, and slowly, without even realizing it, we begin comparing our real lives with someone else's carefully selected moments. We start believing that our imperfections are weaknesses. We hide the things that make us different. We become afraid of being judged. We become afraid of making mistakes. We become afraid of showing the world who we really are. But today, I want you to understand something very important. Asterisk, asterisk, your imperfections do not make you less valuable. They make you human. And sometimes, the very things you wish you could change about yourself become the things that make your story powerful. Asterisk, asterisk, think about a cracked piece of pottery. At first glance, you might think the crack makes it less beautiful. But what if someone carefully repaired that crack with gold? Suddenly the crack becomes part of the design, the damage becomes part of the beauty, the weakness becomes part of the story. And your life can be exactly the same. You don't need to erase every scar from your past. You don't need to pretend that you have never struggled. You don't need to become someone else to deserve happiness. You simply need to learn how to accept yourself. Acceptance does not mean giving up on growth. It means looking at yourself honestly and saying, this is where I am today. I may not be perfect, but I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of happiness, and I am still becoming the person I am meant to be. That is where real confidence begins, not with perfection, with acceptance. Stop fighting who you are. Many people spend years fighting themselves. They fight their appearance. They fight their personality. They fight their past. They fight their mistakes. They fight their circumstances. They fight the parts of themselves they believe the world will reject. But imagine how exhausting it must be to spend your entire life fighting the person you are supposed to live with every single day. You cannot escape yourself. You can pretend, you can hide, you can change yourself to please everyone. But eventually, you will have to come back to yourself. So why not become your own friend? Why not learn to speak to yourself with kindness? Why do we give other people compassion, but refuse to give it to ourselves? When a friend makes a mistake, we often say, it's okay, everyone makes mistakes. But when we make the same mistake, we say, I am useless. When a friend fails, we encourage them, but when we fail, we insult ourselves. When a friend feels insecure, we tell them they are beautiful, but when we look in the mirror, we focus only on what we dislike. This needs to change. Your relationship with yourself matters, because you spend more time with yourself than with anyone else. If your inner voice constantly tells you that you are not enough, your confidence will slowly disappear. But if your inner voice becomes supportive, patient, and compassionate, you begin to discover strength you never knew you had. So today, make a decision. Stop being your own enemy. Become your own supporter. Your difference is not your defect. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that being different means being wrong. But who decided that everyone has to look the same? Who decided that everyone must follow the same path? Who decided that success has only one definition? Your life does not have to look like someone else's life. Maybe your journey is slower. Maybe you started later. Maybe you had obstacles others never experienced. Maybe your path is completely different. That does not make your journey less meaningful. A tree does not compare itself with another tree. One grows tall, another grows wide. One blooms early, another blooms later, but both are alive, both are growing. Both have their own purpose. You are like that. You have your own timeline, your own personality, your own experiences, your own strengths, your own story, and that story does not need to look like anyone else's. Maybe you don't fit into the expectations people have created for you. Good. Maybe you were never meant to fit into them. Sometimes being different is exactly what allows you to create something new. The world does not need another copy of someone else. The world needs you, the real you, the imperfect you. The person who has fallen and stood again. The person who has cried but continued. The person who has been rejected but still believed. The person who has been hurt but refused to become cruel. That person is powerful. Your scars have a story. Everyone carries invisible scars. Some people carry the pain of rejection. Some carry childhood memories. Some carry broken relationships. Some carry financial struggles. Some carry failures. Some carry words spoken to them years ago that they still remember. And some people smile every day while secretly fighting battles nobody knows about. Never assume that someone's life is perfect simply because they look happy. Everyone has a story, and sometimes the parts of your story that hurt the most become the parts that teach you the most. Pain can teach patience. Failure can teach humility. Rejection can teach self-worth. Loneliness can teach independence. Hardship can teach courage. And difficult experiences can teach you how to appreciate peaceful moments. This doesn't mean pain is good. Pain hurts, loss hurts, failure hurts, but your response to pain can transform you. You can allow your pain to destroy your confidence, or you can allow it to deepen your understanding of yourself. You can say, "This happened to me, but it will not define me." That sentence can change your life because something happened in your past. But your past does not own your future. You are more than your appearance. We live in a time when appearance is often treated like identity. People judge themselves by their weight, their skin, their hair, their clothes, their face, their height, their age, but your body is only one part of who you are. Your character matters, your kindness matters. Your courage matters, your honesty matters, your ability to forgive matters, your ability to stand again matters. Your heart matters, your mind matters, your dreams matter. Imagine meeting someone who is physically beautiful but cruel to everyone around them. Would their appearance make them truly beautiful? Now imagine meeting someone who may not look perfect, but makes everyone around them feel respected, safe, and valued. Who would you remember? True beauty is not only what people see. It is what people feel when they are around you. A kind person can light up a room. A courageous person can inspire an entire community. A compassionate person can change someone's life with one conversation. So don't reduce yourself to a mirror. You are much bigger than your reflection. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy happiness. You see someone's success and forget their struggle. You see their achievement and forget the years of work behind it. You see their confidence and don't see the insecurity they overcame. You see the final result. You don't see the process. That is why comparison is unfair. You are looking at the finished picture of someone else's journey while standing in the middle of your own. Instead of asking, "Why am I not where they are?" ask, "Am I moving forward?" Maybe your progress is small. That's okay. One step is still movement. One lesson is still growth. One brave decision is still progress. You don't need to become successful overnight. You need to keep going. If yesterday you were afraid to speak and today you spoke, that's progress. If yesterday you hated yourself and today you showed yourself kindness, that's progress. If yesterday you gave up easily and today you tried one more time, that's progress. Celebrate that. Your journey deserves recognition too. Mistakes do not make you a failure. You will make mistakes. You will say the wrong thing. You will trust the wrong person. You will make bad decisions. You will sometimes choose the wrong path. And that's okay. Being human means being capable of making mistakes. A mistake is an event. It is not your identity. You made a mistake. You are not the mistake. You failed at something. You are not a failure. You experienced rejection. You are not unworthy. You lost something. You are not lost. There is a huge difference between what happened to you and who you are. Never confuse the two. Your mistakes can become teachers if you are willing to learn from them. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? What can I do differently next time? How can I become wiser because of this? Then take the lesson and move forward. Don't build a home inside your regret. Visit the past to learn. Don't live there. Give yourself permission to be a work in progress. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't need to know exactly where your life will be 5 years from now. You don't need to have the perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect body, the perfect confidence. You are allowed to be a work in progress. Think about a painting. Nobody expects a painting to be beautiful while the artist is still creating it. There are unfinished sections, there are corrections, there are colors added and removed, there are mistakes covered by new layers, and eventually something beautiful appears. Your life is like that painting. You are still being created. Every experience adds a layer. Every challenge adds depth. Every failure adds wisdom. Every relationship teaches something. Every difficult season changes you. So don't judge your entire life while you're still in the middle of creating it. You haven't reached the final chapter. There is still more to come. The courage to show your real self, one of the greatest forms of courage, is authenticity. Being yourself in a world that constantly tries to change you is not easy. People may not understand you. They may criticize you. They may tell you that you're too sensitive, too ambitious, too quiet, too loud, too different, but you don't need everyone's approval. If you spend your life trying to make everyone happy, you will eventually lose yourself. You cannot be everything for everyone. Some people will misunderstand you. Let them. Some people will dislike you. Let them. Some people will judge you without knowing your story. Let them. Your job is not to control their opinions. Your job is to live according to your values. You know your heart. You know your intentions. You know how hard you've worked to become who you are. So don't surrender your identity simply because someone doesn't understand it. Your authenticity is valuable. You don't need to hide your struggles. Sometimes we think strength means pretending everything is okay. But real strength can also mean saying, I'm struggling, I need help, I'm tired, I don't know what to do. There is no shame in being human. You don't become weak by admitting that life is difficult. Sometimes admitting that you are struggling is the first step toward healing and growth. Strong people are not people who never fall. Strong people are people who learn how to rise. So if you're struggling today, don't be ashamed. Take a breath, slow down, ask for support when you need it, rest when you need it, then when you're ready, take another step. You don't have to run, you just have to keep moving. Your imperfections can inspire others. Imagine someone who has never experienced failure trying to motivate someone who has lost everything. Their words may sound beautiful, but they may not understand the pain. Now imagine someone who has struggled, fallen, cried, rebuilt themselves, and continued walking. Their presence carries a different kind of power because they don't simply speak about strength, they have experienced it. Your struggles may someday become the reason someone else refuses to give up. Your story may help someone feel less alone. Your scars may remind someone that survival is possible. Your honesty may give another person permission to be honest. That is why you should not be ashamed of your journey. You never know who needs to hear your story. Your life doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. Maybe your life isn't what you imagined. Maybe you have experienced disappointments. Maybe some dreams didn't come true. Maybe some people walked away. Maybe you have parts of yourself you are still learning to accept. But there can still be beauty here. There can be beauty in a new morning, in a conversation with someone you love. In laughter, in learning, in trying again, in forgiveness, in growth, in small victories. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. And you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. Remember that. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to start again. And most importantly, you are allowed to be yourself. Your imperfections are not proof that you are broken. They are evidence that you are human, and your humanity is not something you need to hide. It is something you can embrace, so look at yourself today, not with judgment, but with compassion. Look at the person in the mirror and say, I may not be perfect, but I am still worthy. I may have weaknesses, but I also have strengths. I may have scars, but I also have a story. I may have fallen, but I can rise. I may still be growing, but I am proud of the person I am becoming. And then take one more step. Because your story is not finished. Your journey is still unfolding. There comes a moment in life when you realize something very important. You cannot spend your entire life trying to become someone else. You cannot keep changing yourself simply because someone doesn't like who you are. You cannot keep apologizing for taking up space. You cannot keep hiding your dreams because you are afraid people might laugh. And you cannot keep believing that your imperfections make you unworthy. At some point you have to look at yourself and say, this is me, this is my journey, this is my story, and I am going to stop being ashamed of it. That doesn't mean you stop improving. It means you stop believing that you need to be perfect before you deserve respect, happiness, or love. There is a difference between self-improvement and self-rejection. Self-improvement says, I want to become better. Self-rejection says, I hate who I am. One creates growth. The other creates suffering. You can work on yourself without hating yourself. You can become stronger without believing that you are weak. You can change your habits without believing that you are worthless. You can chase your dreams while still accepting where you are today. That is the balance we need to learn. You are not behind. Maybe you feel like everyone else is moving forward while you are standing still. You see people getting married, getting jobs, starting businesses, traveling, buying homes, building successful careers. And you wonder, when will it be my turn? But life is not a race with one finish line. There is no universal schedule for success. Some people discover their purpose at 20. Others discover it at 30. Some people rebuild their lives at 40. Others begin again at 50. There is no expiration date on becoming who you were meant to be. Don't let society convince you that you are late. You are not late. You are living your own timeline. Maybe your journey has taken longer because you had battles others didn't have to fight. Maybe you had responsibilities. Maybe you experienced loss. Maybe you had to rebuild your confidence. Maybe you had to survive before you could think about succeeding, and that's okay. Sometimes survival is progress. Sometimes getting out of bed on a difficult day is progress. Sometimes choosing hope when everything feels hopeless is progress. Never underestimate small victories. They are often the foundation of great transformations. The world doesn't need your perfection. Imagine if every person waited until they were perfect before sharing their talents. Imagine if every singer waited until their voice was flawless. Every writer waited until their first book was perfect. Every entrepreneur waited until they knew everything. Every speaker waited until they had no fear. How many dreams would never exist? Perfection creates delay, fear creates silence, but courage creates movement. You don't need to know everything before you begin. You don't need to be perfect before you try. Start with what you have. Learn as you go. Improve as you grow. Your first attempt may not be amazing. That's normal. Your first video may not get many views. Your first business may not succeed. Your first speech may make you nervous. Your first step toward your dream may feel uncomfortable, but every expert was once a beginner. Every confident person once felt insecure. Every successful person once experienced failure. The difference is that they continued. What if your weakness becomes your strength? Sometimes the thing you consider your greatest weakness can become one of your greatest strengths. Maybe you are sensitive. People may tell you that you care too much, but your sensitivity may help you understand people deeply. Maybe you are quiet. People may assume that you lack confidence, but your quietness may allow you to observe things others miss. Maybe you have experienced failure. You may think it makes you unsuccessful, but failure may have taught you resilience. Maybe you have been rejected. You may think rejection means you are not good enough, but rejection may teach you that your value cannot depend on someone else's decision. Maybe life forced you to become independent. At the time you may have hated it, but later you may realize that it made you stronger. Never be too quick to label something a weakness. Give yourself time. Sometimes life reveals the purpose of your struggles much later. Don't let one opinion become your identity. One person's opinion is not a fact. Read that again. One person's opinion is not a fact. Someone can call you unattractive. That doesn't make you unattractive. Someone can call you unsuccessful. That doesn't make you unsuccessful. Someone can say you will never achieve anything. That doesn't predict your future. People speak from their own experiences, insecurities, expectations, and limitations. Sometimes they judge you because they don't understand you. Sometimes they criticize you because your courage reminds them of what they are afraid to do. Sometimes people try to make you smaller because your growth makes them uncomfortable. You don't have to accept every opinion people give you. Listen to constructive criticism. Learn from people who genuinely want the best for you. But don't allow random opinions to become your identity. You know yourself better than a stranger does. Learn to say, "I am enough." There is a powerful sentence that many people struggle to believe. I am enough. Not because you have achieved everything. Not because everyone loves you. Not because you never make mistakes. But because your worth is not something you have to earn. You were valuable before your achievements. You were valuable before your success. You were valuable before anyone recognized your talent. Your accomplishments can add meaning to your life, but they do not determine your worth. This is important because if you believe your worth depends on success, then every failure will destroy you. But when you understand that your worth is deeper than your achievements, failure becomes a lesson instead of a verdict. You can lose a job without losing yourself. You can fail an exam without becoming a failure. You can experience rejection without becoming unlovable. You can lose money without losing your dignity. You can make a mistake without losing your identity. You are more than what happened to you. Your inner voice matters. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. What do you say when you look in the mirror? What do you say when you make a mistake? What do you say when something doesn't work? Do you say, "I knew I couldn't do it, I'm stupid, I'm not good enough, everyone is better than me"? Or do you say, "I can learn, I can improve, this didn't work, but I can try again"? I am still growing. Your words matter. Your mind listens to what you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly attack yourself, eventually you start believing the attacks. But if you begin speaking to yourself with encouragement, your relationship with yourself changes. This doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means being fair. Instead of saying, "I am terrible at everything," say, "I struggled with this, but I can learn." Instead of, "I will never succeed," say, "I haven't succeeded yet." That little word, "yet," can change your perspective. I can't do this yet. I don't understand this yet. I haven't reached my goal yet. You are giving yourself room to grow. Stop waiting for everyone to understand. Not everyone will understand your choices, and that's okay. Some people will question your dreams, some will laugh at your goals, some will tell you that you are being unrealistic. Some will remind you of your past every time you try to move forward, but you don't need everyone to understand your vision. You need to understand it yourself. When you believe deeply in something meaningful, you will sometimes have to walk without applause. There will be seasons where nobody celebrates you. There will be days when nobody notices your effort. There will be moments when you feel completely alone. Keep going. Not every seed grows in front of an audience. A seed grows underground, quietly, silently, and one day the world sees the result. Your growth may be invisible today. Keep growing anyway. Don't be ashamed of starting again. Starting again is not failure. Sometimes starting again is the bravest thing you can do. You may have to rebuild after a broken relationship, restart after a failed business, change direction after choosing the wrong career, begin again after losing confidence, start over after years of living according to someone else's expectations. And when you start again, people may say, "But you already spent so much time on that." Remember, time is not wasted when it teaches you something. Maybe that chapter wasn't your destination. Maybe it was preparation. Maybe it taught you what you needed to know. Maybe it introduced you to people you needed to meet. Maybe it made you stronger. Maybe it showed you what you don't want. You are allowed to close a chapter. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to choose a different path. Your future does not have to remain loyal to a decision you made in the past. Your story is bigger than your worst day. There may be a day in your life that you wish you could erase. A day when you failed, a day when you cried, a day when someone broke your trust, a day when you made a decision you regret. But one bad day does not represent your entire life. Imagine judging a book by one page. It would be unfair. Your life is the same. You have thousands of pages still unwritten. Don't let one painful chapter convince you that the whole story is hopeless. There are chapters you haven't reached yet. There are people you haven't met. There are opportunities you haven't discovered. There are places you haven't seen. There are dreams you haven't pursued. There are versions of yourself you haven't become. Your story is still being written. Find beauty in the unfinished. We often believe beauty exists only in perfection. But look around. A sunset is beautiful because it changes. A flower is beautiful because it eventually fades. A tree can be beautiful even with broken branches. An old photograph can be beautiful because it carries memories. An imperfect voice can carry an unforgettable message. A scar can remind someone of survival. Life is beautiful because it is temporary, changing, imperfect, and real. You don't need to fix every part of yourself before appreciating who you are. You can be a work in progress and still be proud of yourself. You can have goals and still appreciate the present. You can want to improve your life without believing your current life has no value. That is the mindset of growth. Protect your peace once you begin accepting yourself. You will also become more careful about who you allow into your life. You will stop begging people to stay. You will stop chasing people who constantly make you question your worth. You will stop trying to prove yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You will realize that peace is valuable. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Not every person deserves a front row seat in your life. Sometimes protecting yourself means walking away. And walking away does not mean you hate someone. It means you finally understand that your peace matters too. Become comfortable with being different. Maybe your dreams are different. Maybe your personality is different. Maybe your interests are different. Maybe your journey is different. Don't apologize for that. The world would be incredibly boring if everyone were identical. Difference creates creativity. Difference creates new ideas. Difference creates change. The people who change the world are often people who were willing to question what everyone else accepted. They were willing to say, "What if there is another way? What if we try something new? What if I don't follow the crowd?" Your individuality is not a problem. It can be your greatest advantage. You don't need permission to dream. Don't wait for someone to tell you that your dream is possible. Dream anyway. Don't wait until everyone believes in you. Believe in yourself first. Don't wait until you feel completely confident. Take action while you're afraid. Confidence often comes after action, not before it. You may think, once I become confident, I'll start. But often the truth is, once I start, I'll become confident. You learn by doing, you grow by trying. You become courageous by facing fear, so take the first step. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. Your imperfections are part of your power. Think about everything you've survived. Think about the moments you thought you couldn't continue. And yet you did. Maybe nobody applauded, maybe nobody even knew, but you survived those days. You learned. You grew, you changed, and that is evidence of strength. Your imperfections don't erase your strength. They reveal it. Every time you rise after falling, you prove something. Every time you forgive yourself, you prove something. Every time you choose hope over hopelessness, you prove something. Every time you continue despite fear, you prove something. You are stronger than the version of yourself who once believed you couldn't make it. And maybe you still have difficult days. That's okay. Strength does not mean you never struggle. Strength means you don't allow struggle to become the end of your story. One day you will thank yourself. One day you may look back at the person you are today. You may remember the insecurity, the fear, the mistakes, the tears, the uncertainty, and you may realize something. You were becoming stronger the entire time. The difficult season was teaching you. The rejection was redirecting you. The failure was educating you. The loneliness was helping you discover yourself. The imperfections you hated were teaching you acceptance. And the journey you thought was breaking you was actually building you. So be patient with yourself. You are not finished, you are becoming, and becoming takes time. Don't demand the final version of yourself today. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to change. Give yourself permission to be imperfect, because your imperfections are not the end of your story. They are part of what makes your story yours, and there will never be another person exactly like you. Your experiences are yours. Your perspective is yours. Your dreams are yours. Your voice is yours. Your story is yours. So don't spend your life trying to become a copy. Become the original. Be honest. Be courageous. Be kind. Be imperfect. Be real. And most importantly, be yourself. Because the world doesn't need a perfect version of you. The world needs the authentic version of you. The version that keeps learning. The version that keeps loving. The version that keeps trying. The version that falls and rises. The version that says, I may not have everything figured out, but I am not giving up on myself. And perhaps that is the greatest form of courage. Not becoming perfect, but choosing to love yourself while you are still becoming. Your imperfections make you human. Your journey makes you unique. Your resilience makes you powerful.